It was just another Tuesday at the home goods store when I first laid eyes on him. You know how some days just feel like they're going to be completely ordinary? That's exactly how this one started. My name is Alex, and I've always been the type to blend into the background. As an interior designer, I'm used to making spaces look beautiful, but I've never been great at putting myself out there. I prefer to let my work speak for itself, staying behind the scenes while my designs take center stage. That particular afternoon, I was browsing through the home goods store, looking for some inspiration for a client's bedroom renovation. The store was relatively quiet, with just a few customers milling about, examining throw pillows and testing out couches. The soft background music and the familiar smell of new furniture created a comfortable atmosphere that I always found calming. I was examining some bedside lamps when I heard a voice behind me. "Excuse me, do you work here?" I turned around to find myself face to face with possibly the most attractive man I'd ever seen in real life. He had warm brown eyes that crinkled at the corners when he smiled, and dark curly hair that looked like it had a mind of its own. He was wearing the store's signature blue polo shirt, which somehow looked like designer wear on his athletic frame. "No, sorry, I don't," I replied, feeling a little flustered. "But I think there's an employee over by the dining sets." He laughed, a warm, genuine sound that made something flutter in my chest. "Actually, I'm the employee." "Jamie," he said, extending his hand. "I work in the mattress department. I just thought you looked like you knew what you were doing with those lamps. You have a designer's eye." I felt my cheeks warm as I shook his hand. "Alex. And yes, actually, I am an interior designer. Just looking for some inspiration for a client." Jamie's eyes lit up. "Perfect. Maybe you can help me with something then? I've been trying to decide on a new mattress for myself, and I'm completely lost. Having a professional opinion would be amazing." There was something about the way he asked, earnest but with a playful glint in his eye, that made it impossible to say no. Despite my usual reluctance to engage with strangers, I found myself nodding. "Sure, I guess I could take a look. Though I should warn you, mattress selection is more about personal comfort than design aesthetics." "That's exactly why I need help," Jamie said, already guiding me toward the mattress section. "I know all the technical specs from working here, but I can't decide what actually feels right for me. It's like being a barber who can't cut their own hair." As we walked through the store, Jamie kept up a steady stream of conversation, asking about my design work and sharing funny stories about customers he'd helped. By the time we reached the mattress department, I was already feeling more comfortable around him than I usually did with people I just met. There was something disarming about his openness, the way he seemed genuinely interested in what I had to say. The mattress department was at the back of the store, a large open space filled with beds of all sizes. Each one was made up with crisp white sheets and an assortment of pillows, looking invitingly comfortable under the soft lighting. Along the walls were small, private testing rooms where customers could try mattresses without an audience. "So, what kind of sleeper are you?" I asked, slipping into professional mode despite the unusual circumstances. "Side, back, stomach? Any pain issues? And what's your current mattress like?" Jamie looked impressed. "Wow, straight to business. I like it. I'm mostly a side sleeper, sometimes back. No real pain issues, but my current mattress is ancient, probably from college. It's got more valleys than the Grand Canyon at this point." I laughed at his description. "Okay, so you definitely need an upgrade. Let's start with firmness. For side sleepers, something with a bit of give is usually better for shoulder and hip pressure points." We began testing different mattresses, with Jamie dramatically flopping onto each one and giving his immediate reactions. His enthusiasm was contagious, and I found myself enjoying the process far more than I'd expected. We moved from memory foam to hybrid to traditional innerspring, discussing the pros and cons of each type. "The thing about memory foam," I explained as Jamie sank into a particularly plush model, "is that while it's great for pressure relief, some people find it sleeps hot. And if you're someone who moves around a lot in your sleep, you might feel a bit stuck." Jamie rolled over to face me, his expression thoughtful. "I do tend to move around. And I definitely run hot. My ex used to complain that sleeping next to me was like cuddling a furnace." There was a brief moment where our eyes met, and I felt a small jolt of electricity. Was he telling me he was single? And why did that matter to me? I quickly looked away, focusing on the mattress. "In that case, you might prefer something like this hybrid model. It has some of the contouring benefits of foam but with the responsiveness and cooling properties of coils." As we continued our mattress exploration, the conversation flowed easily between technical discussions about mattress construction and more personal topics. I learned that Jamie had worked at the store for 3 years, that he had a degree in business he wasn't using, and that he had a golden retriever named Pancake who took up most of his bed regardless of mattress size. That's why I need a king, he explained with a laugh. Not for me, but for Her Majesty Pancake, who apparently needs to sleep diagonally across as much space as possible. I have a cat who does the same thing, I admitted. 10 pounds of cat somehow occupies 20 square feet of bed space. After trying several options, we narrowed it down to 2 contenders, a medium-firm hybrid and a slightly softer pillow-top model. Jamie suggested we try them in one of the testing rooms, where we could lie down properly without other customers walking by. We have these private testing rooms so people can really take their time, he explained, leading me to a small room off to the side. It was simply furnished with the display mattress on a basic frame, a small bedside table with a lamp, and a chair in the corner. The walls were a calming shade of blue, and there was a full-length mirror on one wall. Customers can spend up to 20 minutes in here, really getting a feel for the mattress, Jamie said as he closed the door behind us. It makes a huge difference compared to just sitting on the edge for a few seconds. I nodded, trying not to think about the intimacy of being in a small room with an attractive stranger about to lie on a bed together. It was all perfectly professional, I reminded myself. I was just helping someone make an informed purchase decision. Jamie brought in both mattresses we were considering, and we started with the hybrid model. As we lay side by side, staring up at the ceiling, he asked me about how I got into interior design. I've always been obsessed with spaces, I explained, focusing on the ceiling to avoid looking at him. Even as a kid, I was constantly rearranging my room, driving my parents crazy. There's something powerful about how the right environment can change how you feel. A well-designed space can make you feel calm, energized, inspired. It affects everything. That's beautiful, Jamie said softly. I never thought about it that way. I guess that's why some places just feel right when you walk in, and others feel off somehow. Exactly. It's not just about making things look pretty, though that's part of it. It's about creating functionality and emotional resonance. I turned my head slightly to look at him, finding him already watching me with an intensity that made my breath catch. What about you? Always dreamed of selling mattresses? He laughed, breaking the tension. Not exactly. I was on track for a corporate finance job, but after graduation, I just couldn't see myself doing that for the next 40 years. Took this job temporarily while figuring things out, and somehow 3 years have passed. It's not what I imagined, but I like helping people. Everyone needs a good night's sleep, right? We switched to the pillow-top mattress, continuing our conversation as we tested the comfort level. Time seemed to slip away as we talked about everything from favorite movies to travel dreams to embarrassing childhood stories. There was an ease between us that felt rare and precious, like finding a perfect piece of furniture that fits exactly in the space you had in mind. I think this is the one, Jamie finally said, patting the pillow-top mattress. It feels right. What's your professional opinion? It suits you, I agreed. Good support, but with enough softness for side sleeping. And the cooling technology should help with your furnace tendencies. He laughed, then checked his watch. Wow, we've been in here for almost half an hour. I should probably get back to work before my manager comes looking for me. We both sat up, and Jamie reached for the door handle. His expression changed to confusion, then concern. That's weird, he said, jiggling the handle. It's not opening. I thought he was joking at first, but as he continued to struggle with the door, I realized he was serious. Is it locked? It shouldn't be. These doors don't even have locks. He pulled harder, then pushed, but the door wouldn't budge. I think it might be jammed somehow. He knocked on the door, calling out, but there was no response. He pulled out his phone to call the front desk, but frowned at the screen. No signal in here. These testing rooms are like little vaults, good soundproofing for privacy, but terrible for cell reception. I checked my own phone and found the same issue. So, we're stuck. Temporarily, Jamie assured me, though he looked worried. Someone will notice eventually. My shift ends at closing time, so if nothing else, they'll come looking for me then. When is closing time? I asked, a knot forming in my stomach. Jamie's grimace told me everything I needed to know before he even spoke. The store closes at 9 p.m. It's 8:55 now. The realization that we might be locked and overnight hit us both at the same time. Jamie immediately began pounding on the door more forcefully, shouting for help. I joined him, calling out and trying to make as much noise as possible. But the soundproofing worked against us, muffling our cries. After several minutes of fruitless effort, we both slumped back onto the mattress, slightly out of breath. I can't believe this is happening, I said, running a hand through my hair. Do these rooms get checked before closing? Jamie sighed. They're supposed to, but if Mark is closing tonight, he sometimes rushes through final checks. He might just glance in through the window, see an empty room, and move on. But we're clearly in here. The way these rooms are designed, the viewing window only shows part of the room. If we're sitting on the bed, we might not be visible from that angle. I groaned, falling back onto the mattress. So we're really stuck here all night? Jamie gave me an apologetic smile. Look on the bright side. At least we're locked in with a comfortable mattress instead of, say, the bathroom. Despite my anxiety about the situation, I couldn't help but laugh. That's true. And I guess there are worse people to be locked in with. I'm taking that as a compliment, Jamie said, his smile warming. And for what it's worth, I'm sorry about this. Not exactly how I planned to spend my evening, but the company is definitely a silver lining. There was something in the way he said it, a gentle sincerity that made my heart beat a little faster. I sat up, suddenly very aware of our situation, alone, locked in a small room with a bed, with potentially the whole night ahead of us. So, I said, trying to sound casual, what do we do now? Jamie considered for a moment. Well, we could continue testing the mattress for comfort. Really give it a thorough evaluation. After all, you're helping me make an important purchase decision. The playful tone in his voice made me smile. Very professional of you. I suppose we could also review the pillow selection. Proper neck support is crucial for spinal alignment. Absolutely, he agreed solemnly, though his eyes were dancing with amusement. And we should probably test different sleeping positions. For thoroughness. I felt a blush creeping up my neck, but played along. Of course. Side sleeping, back sleeping, all the standard configurations. Exactly, Jamie said, stretching out on the mattress again and patting the space beside him. Shall we continue our professional assessment? I lay down next to him, hyper-aware of the small distance between our bodies. We were both quiet for a moment, staring at the ceiling again. You know, Jamie finally said, his voice softer now, I wasn't actually shopping for a mattress today. I turned my head to look at him, confused. What do you mean? He met my gaze, a sheepish expression on his face. I've seen you in the store before. You come in sometimes, looking at different departments, taking notes in that little black notebook. I've wanted to talk to you for weeks, but never had a good excuse. Today when I saw you by the lamps, I just took a chance. My heart was suddenly pounding in my ears. So you don't need a new mattress? Oh, I definitely do, he laughed. That part wasn't a lie. My mattress is terrible, but I could have chosen one on my own. I just wanted an excuse to talk to you. I was speechless for a moment, processing this revelation. Why me? Jamie turned on his side to face me fully. Because you always look so focused, so passionate about what you're doing. And, well, you're beautiful. I wanted to know the person behind that concentration. No one had ever pursued me like this before. I was usually the invisible one, the person who helped others shine. Being seen, truly seen, was both terrifying and exhilarating. I don't know what to say, I admitted. You don't have to say anything, Jamie assured me. I just wanted to be honest. And now that we're stuck here together, it seemed like the right time to tell you. No pressure, though. We can just talk until someone rescues us. But something had shifted in the atmosphere between us. The admission had changed the dynamic, opening a door to possibilities I hadn't considered before walking into the store today. I noticed you too, I confessed quietly. Every time I came in. I just never thought. I'm not usually the type of person people notice. Then you've been around the wrong people, Jamie said simply. Because you're pretty hard to miss. In the soft lamplight of the testing room, with the comfortable mattress beneath us and the quiet hum of the store's air conditioning in the background, something bloomed between us. Our conversation deepened, moving beyond surface-level topics to more meaningful terrain. We talked about our families, our disappointments, our dreams. Jamie told me about his parents' divorce when he was 12 and how it shaped his view of relationships. I shared my struggles with confidence and always feeling like I was on the outside looking in. I think that's why I love interior design, I explained. I can create spaces where other people feel like they belong, even if I'm not always sure where I belong myself. Jamie reached out slowly, giving me time to pull away, and took my hand. You belong exactly where you are right now. The simple touch of his hand on mine sent warmth spreading through me. We fell silent, the air between us charged with unspoken feelings. I don't know who moved first, but suddenly we were closer, our faces inches apart. Is this okay? Jamie whispered, his eyes searching mine. I nodded, unable to find my voice, and then his lips were on mine. The kiss was gentle at first, tentative, but quickly deepened as we both gave in to the connection that had been building all evening. His hand moved to cup my face, and I found myself shifting closer, drawn to his warmth. When we finally pulled apart, we were both breathless. Jamie's smile was dazzling, a mix of surprise and joy that I'm sure mirrored my own expression. "Wow," he said simply. "That was." "Yeah," I agreed, unable to stop smiling. "It was." We lay there for a while, talking softly between kisses, exploring this unexpected connection. The predicament of being locked in had faded to the background, no longer an inconvenience but a stroke of serendipity. "You know," Jamie said, tracing patterns on my palm with his finger, "I've helped hundreds of customers find the right mattress, but I've never tested one quite like this." I laughed, feeling lighter than I had in years. "Is this going to be your new sales technique? Get locked in with all your customers?" "Definitely not," he said, pulling me closer. "This is a one-time, exclusive experience." We must have dozed off eventually, comfortable in each other's arms on the perfect mattress. I was awakened by the sound of keys jangling and a door swinging open. "Jamie, are you in?" "Oh?" We both sat up quickly, blinking in the sudden brightness as the store manager stood in the doorway, looking shocked. Behind him, the store was dark except for the emergency lights, confirming that it was well after closing time. "Mark." "Thank God," Jamie said, recovering faster than I could. The door got jammed. "We've been stuck in here for hours." Mark looked between us, taking in our rumpled appearance and the obvious intimacy of the situation. Door got jammed." "Right. It's true," I added, feeling my face burn. "We tried calling for help, but no one heard us." Mark shook his head, but there was amusement rather than anger in his expression. "I only came back because I forgot my laptop. Otherwise, you two would have been here until morning." "Lucky us," Jamie said, standing up and straightening his shirt. "Thanks for the rescue." As we followed Mark through the darkened store to the exit, Jamie's hand found mine, giving it a reassuring squeeze. Outside in the parking lot, Mark locked up again and headed to his car with a knowing look and a wave. Left alone under the starry sky, Jamie and I faced each other, suddenly shy despite everything we'd shared. "So," he said, "that was quite an adventure." I laughed softly. Definitely not how I expected my day to go when I woke up this morning. "Any regrets?" he asked, a hint of vulnerability in his voice. I shook my head. "Not one. Though I do have one question." "What's that?" "Are you actually going to buy that mattress now? After all that thorough testing?" Jamie's laugh echoed in the empty parking lot. "Absolutely. I've never been more sure of a purchase in my life. Though I might need help setting it up once it's delivered. Know any good interior designers who might be interested in the job?" I pretended to consider. "I might know someone. His rates are steep, though." "Oh? What does he charge?" "Dinner, at minimum. Possibly a movie. Maybe even breakfast the next morning, if the client is particularly charming." Jamie pulled me close, his smile radiant in the moonlight. "That sounds like a deal I'd be happy to make." As we exchanged phone numbers and made plans for our first official date, I couldn't help but think about the strange twist of fate that had brought us together. A jammed door, a comfortable mattress, and hours of uninterrupted time to discover a connection neither of us had been looking for but both of us needed. Sometimes life locks you in exactly where you need to be. And sometimes, if you're really lucky, it's on a perfect mattress with someone who sees you clearly, even in a dimly lit testing room at the back of a home goods store. Jamie walked me to my car, our goodbye kiss promising many more to come. As I drove home, I couldn't stop smiling, already looking forward to helping him set up his new mattress and perhaps testing it out all over again, this time without the worry of store managers or jammed doors interrupting us. Some people find love in coffee shops or through dating apps. I found mine in a locked mattress testing room. And honestly, I wouldn't have it any other way. Because now, whenever anyone asks how we met, we have the best story to tell about mattress firmness ratings, soundproofed rooms, and finding connection in the most unexpected of places. And isn't that what makes the best love stories? Not the perfect meet-cute, but the perfectly imperfect moment when two lives collide in ways neither could have anticipated, creating something beautiful from a simple twist of fate. Total_char_count, 18,582.